James woke up early on Saturday morning. The sun was shining and the air felt fresh and cool. It was the perfect day to visit the farmer's market. James loved going to the market because it was always full of life and energy. Plus, he enjoyed supporting local farmers and trying fresh, delicious foods. After a quick breakfast, James grabbed his reusable shopping bags and headed out. The farmer's market was only a short walk from his apartment. As he approached, he could already hear the lively sounds of people talking, laughing and bargaining. The market was set up in a large open area with colourful tents and stalls lining the paths. Each stall was filled with fresh fruits, vegetables, homemade goods and artisanal products. James smiled as he took in the vibrant atmosphere. His first stop was a stall selling organic apples. The vendor, an older man with a friendly smile, greeted him warmly. "Good morning. Would you like to try a sample?" he asked, holding out a slice of apple. James took the slice and bit into it. The apple was crisp and sweet. "This is delicious," he said. "I'll take a bag of these, please." As the vendor bagged the apples, they chatted about the different varieties and the best ways to enjoy them. James learned that the man had been farming for over 30 years and took great pride in his work. Next, James moved on to a stall selling fresh bread. The smell of baked goods filled the air, making his mouth water. A young woman behind the counter was busy arranging loaves of bread, pastries and muffins. "Hi there," James said. "Everything looks amazing. Do you have any recommendations?" The woman smiled. "Our sourdough bread is very popular and the blueberry muffins are a customer favourite." James decided to buy a loaf of sourdough bread and a couple of muffins. As he paid, he asked the woman about her baking. She explained that she used traditional methods and organic ingredients. James admired her dedication and passion for her craft. With his bags getting heavier, James continued to explore the market. He stopped at a stall with a beautiful display of vegetables. The vendor, a young man about his age, was arranging bunches of kale and carrots. "These look great," James said. "Do you grow everything yourself?" The young man nodded. "Yes, my family and I run a small farm just outside the city. We grow everything organically and harvest it fresh for the market." James bought some kale and carrots, feeling good about supporting a small family farm. The vendor shared a few recipes for using the kale, and James looked forward to trying them out. As he walked through the market, James noticed a stall with a sign that said, "Fresh honey." Intrigued, he walked over. A middle-aged woman stood behind the counter, surrounded by jars of golden honey. "Hello," she said warmly. "Would you like to try some honey?" James nodded, and she handed him a small spoonful. The honey was rich and flavourful. "This is incredible," he said. "I'll take a jar." The woman explained that she and her husband were beekeepers and that their bees played a vital role in pollinating local crops. James found their work fascinating and thanked her for sharing her knowledge. Feeling a bit hungry, James decided to check out the food trucks at the market. He found a truck selling gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches. The menu had various options, but the classic cheddar caught his eye. He ordered the sandwich and sat down at a nearby picnic table to eat. As he enjoyed his meal, James struck up a conversation with a couple sitting at the same table. They were regulars at the market and shared some of their favourite vendors and products. James appreciated the tips and made a mental note to visit those stalls next time. After finishing his sandwich, James continued his exploration. He found a stall selling homemade jams and preserves. The vendor, a friendly woman, offered him samples of strawberry jam and peach preserves. Both were delicious, so James bought a jar of each. As he walked away, he saw a small crowd gathered around a stall at the far end of the market. Curious, he headed over to see what was happening. A man was giving a cooking demonstration, showing how to make a simple but tasty vegetable stir-fry using ingredients from the market. James watched as the man chopped vegetables, heated a pan and added spices. The smell was mouth-watering. The man explained each step clearly and gave tips on how to adjust the recipe based on personal preferences. At the end of the demonstration, he offered samples to the crowd. James tried a sample and was impressed by how flavourful it was. He decided to buy the spices the man had used and try the recipe at home. He thanked the man for the demonstration and continued on his way. Before leaving the market, James made one last stop at a flower stall. He picked out a bouquet of colourful flowers to brighten up his apartment. The vendor wrapped the flowers in brown paper and tied them with a ribbon. James smiled, thinking about how beautiful they would look on his kitchen table. As he walked home, James felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He had met interesting people, learned new things, and bought fresh, healthy food. The farmer's market was more than just a place to shop. It was a community where people connected over a shared love of good food and local products. When he got home, James unpacked his bags and admired his purchases. He placed the bouquet of flowers in a vase and set it on the kitchen table. Then he started preparing dinner using the fresh ingredients he had bought at the market. As he cooked, he thought about the stories and experiences he had gathered that day. The farmer's market had given him more than just food. It had given him a sense of belonging and connection to his community. James knew he would return to the market next Saturday and every Saturday after that. It was a place where he could nourish not only his body, but also his soul.